Right now at 6, students in Joplin return to school. We'll see who welcomed them back to class. And temperatures below normal again this morning, a little bit chilly by August standards. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up. Plus, how your child prevent injuries in sports as school returns to session.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6 a.m. and 31 seconds. I'm Chris Warner. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning. It is August the 21st. We are getting that much closer to the end of August, but the last few days have certainly not felt like August, which is a pretty decent thing. You know, we'll take some below normal temperatures. Unfortunately, it's really going to start to feel like August as we head into the weekend and next week. This is a quick look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Got an east-southeast breeze. It's been gusting at times, upwards of about 15, close to 20 miles an hour. Nothing crazy by any means, but nonetheless, a bit breezy out there. And we do have just a few clouds overhead. Our camera 7th in range line. If you look close enough, you can see, again, just a few clouds, so what we call mostly clear skies. MoDOT camera 20th in range line also looking pretty good this morning as well. Future track shows us, again, I think what might be a few too many clouds out west, but we'll see exactly how that pans out. But otherwise, it could be partly cloudy in our far western counties, Chanute, Parsons, Coffeyville, Fredonia, Yates Center. Otherwise, the majority of us should be mostly clear, if not just straight up clear. East breeze continues, though, at about 5 to 10 with some occasional gusts out there, and we'll have another below normal day and another below normal night as we head through our Wednesday. Quick look at temperatures, falling down now to 63 in Joplin, 64 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the region, all of us still below normal so far. Our average low is 69. Not one community out there at 69. So for record-keeping purposes, we all were below normal for our lows. Low mid-60s. A pretty pleasant start to the day. Kids getting on the bus this morning. We are looking at partly cloudy skies. 64 east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And when that bus brings them back home, sunny skies for the majority of us going into the mid-80s. East breeze continues at 5 to 10 with those occasional gusts. Again, the majority of us should be sunny out there. Maybe a few passing clouds here and there. And a pretty decent day once again into the mid-80s, so just a wee bit below normal. We are going to start to heat up though as we head into the weekend and next week, and we could see the return of some uncomfortable heat index values as well. We'll go over all those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. In this morning's top stories, the city of Goodman is now on its 3rd mayor and 3rd police chief in the past year and a half. The town's police chief, Samuel Townsend, resigned from his position following a failed bid to become the McDonald County Sheriff. Townsend took over as chief last year after the town's entire police force resigned following the election of Mayor John Bunch, who resigned from his position in February.
And they come in, kind of like with the blue flame, and they come in really ambitious and work hard. And I don't want to just leave Goodman high and dry or anything of that nature, and leave times for, all the hard work we've done of cleaning up the community to go in the toilet. So it was very good to be able to make contact with him several months ago and be able to train him for my position. Should be a smooth turnover, and he would know everything he needed just right off the bat, and should be a smooth transition of protecting and serving the community.
Current Mayor Clay Sexton and the rest of the city officials promoted Assistant Police Chief Michael Akins to the position of chief. Akins released a statement, which you can read on KOAMnewsnow.com. Also with Akins comes the city's first canine officer, Rocco, who is a 5-year-old Belgian Malinois. Bass Pro announces more layoffs in their marine division, as well as manufacturing plants in Miami, Oklahoma, Lebanon, and Bolivar, Missouri. According to the company, the latter two plants in the Ozarks laid off 10% or about 100 workers. Bass Pro cited the, quote, current economic environment and slowing consumer demand as the reasons for those layoffs. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It is available on Amazon Fire, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. Player is also available in our news and weather apps, as well as, of course, on our website. You can watch live streaming anytime, and the best part is it is absolutely free. All you have to do is search for the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, while most students in the area went back to school Monday, students in Joplin returned to class yesterday. This is a look from outside Soaring Heights Elementary as kids arrived yesterday morning. Teachers and staff welcomed students back with open arms. Also there to greet them, members of the KOAM team and the Joplin Police Department.
Oh, we are so thrilled that the first day of school is finally here. We've been patiently waiting for weeks, preparing our building for our students, and they're finally going to be here, and that's what makes it all worth it.
Administrators tell us 420 students are currently enrolled at Soaring Heights. They expect that number to increase to about 450 by the end of the year. Well, as a parent, you always want to keep your kid safe, but what if your student is what if your child is a student athlete or your student is a child athlete? Either way, Allison Reed is the manager of sports medicine for Mercy Joplin in Southeast Kansas communities. Her best advice for any athlete is to properly stretch and condition. She also warns against jumping back in too quickly after an injury. Pittsburgh Junior Dragons Youth League puts a big focus on hydration and teaches kids proper tackling techniques to prevent concussions. But as in any sport, injuries can always happen.
Hindsight's 20/20, right? Yeah. I mean, you're going to wonder what could I have done differently, what should I have done differently, but I think taking the steps to prevent that from the get-go, or at least identify it.
It's kind of, you get both ends. You get kids that don't want to do anything, and then you get kids that want to jump right back in. Those are the ones that you really have to worry about because they're wanting to get back so quick, and then it could lead to other stuff.
In addition to stretching and conditioning, Reed stresses the importance of communication, specifically with your school's athletic trainer, as they are often the first line of support. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, an appeals court rules Google must go to trial over claims Chrome collected data without users' permission. Plus, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will formally accept the nomination for vice president tonight. And we'll have another look at your Wednesday forecast, talking about some cool temperatures, at least temporarily. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the campus of Missouri Southern ahead of Community Day. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Google must face a lawsuit over Chrome's controversial data collection. That's what a federal appeals court ruled on Tuesday. The panel of 3 judges reversed a lower court decision to dismiss the lawsuit, which claimed Google Chrome collected data without users' permission. The appeals court said there was a discrepancy between the way Google marketed its privacy policy and the way that it collected some data. Lawsuit claims that Google misled Chrome users who had not enabled Chrome Sync, which saves passwords, open tabs, and more to your Google account, open on multiple devices. The case will go back to the lower court for trial. One of the country's biggest supermarket chains is suing the federal government after it blocked a proposed merger with one of the chain's biggest rivals. Kroger was attempting to buy Albertsons for $25 billion. The proposal was considered one of the biggest supermarket mergers in history, but the Federal Trade Commission blocked it from moving forward. Kroger's suit, filed on Monday, is challenging the agency's authority. It comes after the Supreme Court weakened the power of regulatory agencies in a ruling in June. Analysts say if Kroger wins its case, it could impact future merger challenges. So far, no comment from the FTC. Tonight, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will formally accept the nomination for vice president at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Former President Bill Clinton is also set to take the stage as Day 3 focuses on reproductive and other rights under the theme of A Fight for Freedoms. Day 2 of the convention featured star power and fiery speeches from the Obamas. This time, Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the audience by video from the campaign trail. Caroline Cummings has more from Chicago.
Yes, she can.
Former President Barack Obama closed out night 2 of the Democratic National Convention to roaring applause, making his case for Vice President Kamala Harris over former President Donald Trump this November.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama took the stage before him. She delivered a few zingers when criticizing the former president.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Earlier, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff shared his decade-plus love story with Harris.
This Thursday will be our 10th wedding anniversary. That same night, I'll be hearing my wife, Kamala Harris, accept your nomination for President of the United States.
Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, were more than 90 miles away campaigning in Milwaukee last night, but Harris briefly addressed the convention by live stream.
Together, we will chart a new way forward.
Her campaign said more than 15,000 people were at the Wisconsin rally held in the same venue as the Republican National Convention last month.
A hell of a lot can change in 4 weeks.
Day 2 also featured an energetic, star-studded ceremonial roll call vote to give Harris her party's nomination, with a surprise performance from hip-hop artist Lil Jon. Caroline Cummings, CBS News, Chicago.
President John F. Kennedy's grandson and a handful of Republicans also took the stage last night at the convention, including former Trump White House press secretary Stephanie Grisham, who said Vice President Harris has her vote. Former President Trump and Senator J.D. Vance will rally together later today in North Carolina. And that's a look at some of our top national stories this morning. And we are taking a quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which, as you can see, there is nothing to see on it out there other than just a few clouds. We could have a few additional clouds in some of our western counties this morning. Otherwise, mostly clear skies. And you can see those mostly clear skies from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk about these below normal temperatures when the KOAM Morning News returns. An 8-year-old Minnesota boy is gaining attention for his love of butterflies. The young expert raised and released more than 200 monarch butterflies over the summer. Kevin Wallivan has his story.
8-year-old Jackson Schrupp is quite the connoisseur of the chrysalis.
The fat ones in all these 3 pens. So this one is bigger because I got it for my birthday.
At his family's deep woods home near Vergas, Minnesota, Jackson showed us his intense summer project, growing and caring for monarch butterflies.
We have caterpillars in here that are fat because they eat a lot.
Special caterpillar and butterfly boxes from Grandpa and Grandma.
We bought this because it's nice for the medium-sized caterpillars. And as you can, when they're little, you can't touch them or else they're going to kill them.
Full of milkweed and soon-to-be beauties.
Chrysalises, and I have no idea how many. A lot.
Jackson raises monarchs from the egg to baby caterpillars.
He's big. Anybody here?
What do they do all day?
Eat and poop.
To the hatch and release. How many this summer?
213.
You heard right. Jackson has raised 213 monarch butterflies this summer and released them.
Their chrysalis has to get just like really, really dark. And then when they're dark like that, they're ready to hatch.
And Jackson doesn't have to go far to find his caterpillars. He lives deep in the woods near Vergas. And so he basically goes outside his back door.
How I find these caterpillars is I look for munch holes on the milkweed and poop.
Jackson is a natural scout in the ditch.
It's a little baby tree frog. Oh, got one.
Knowing what milkweeds to look for.
It's that easy to find these little guys.
And always...
You want to try and find one?
The team player.
Next time if I see one, I'll walk past it and I'll let you try to find it. Bet there's more somewhere.
He's as excited about finding a caterpillar today as he was 3 months ago.
He found one!
This monarch man.
I said check that one because it looks like there would be one on there.
Who in 2 years has raised nearly 500 monarch butterflies. Soon to make the 2,500-mile journey from Minnesota to Mexico.
Oh! Look at that! One is literally right there. Whoa. Come here, buddy.
Certainly an impressive story. According to the U.S. Forest Service, monarch butterflies from the northern and eastern parts of the U.S. spend their winters in Sierra Madre Mountains. And we've got an absolutely beautiful start today. A little bit on the cool side out there. We're going to remain below average, but hotter temperatures on the way. We'll have a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:22 on this Wednesday morning, and we're starting with the future track. Most of us are looking at a mostly clear, if not plain old clear day. Could have some partly cloudy skies in our far western counties. As I've mentioned, I think the future track's putting just a few too many clouds out there, but again, we'll see exactly how that pans out. But otherwise, a nice day. Once again, below normal temperatures ahead of us, and we'll have another below average night as well. But that is going to change as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. Our Thursday, we could see an isolated shower or two in the morning hours, say along and west of the 75 corridor, but otherwise another great day. We're going to be a little warmer on our Thursday, still below normal for most of us, but a little bit warmer with those partly cloudy skies out there. As we look down the road into our Friday, we're looking at mostly clear skies, but we're also looking at temperatures starting to heat up. So we're going to be a little warmer tomorrow. We're going to be much warmer on our Friday. A lot of us at or even slightly above average as we go into the low 90s. And then that trend will continue for a while. Our camera 7th and range line looking pretty good this morning. We've got some clouds out there. 63 east-southeast breeze at 6 miles an hour. And across the area, again, average low is 69. All of us have been below that all morning long. We now have Monette as the cool spot. Robbie and Iola of that championship trophy there sitting at 60. But otherwise, take a look at this low mid-60s. It's a pretty nice start to the day, especially considering that we're almost to the end of August and we usually have at least one more hot spell. And of course, that's what's on the way. We'll talk about that again in a second. Through this morning, though, just a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, a great start to the day. Upper 70s by 11 o'clock. Heading into the afternoon, we're once again into the mid-80s for most of us with sunny skies, east breeze about 5 to 10. But we could still see some occasional gusts up there of maybe 15 or 20 miles an hour, as has been the case the last couple of days. We'll have clear skies through the evening, low 70s by 10, and falling back again below normal into the low to mid-60s. We'll see clouds start to increase a bit, though, toward sunrise on our Thursday, and that'll give us that partly cloudy day. Upper 80s tomorrow, low 90s Friday. Now, here's the thing, though. As we head into the weekend and next week, we start to see mid-90s out there. And then we're going to start going above normal. But the other thing is the pop-up storm chances. And while we do need that rain, the problem they bring is the higher humidity and dew point levels. So we could be looking at heat index values getting close to 100 degrees as we head into the weekend and next week. So just something to keep in mind if you've got weekend plans and for the schools next week, kids, outdoor activities, recess, just bear in mind it may be a little hotter next week than what we've seen this week. That's checking your forecast. Now we're going to switch gears over to Health Watch and topping Health Watch this morning. People who are more flexible in middle age have a lower risk of death. New research published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science and Sports found that after taking into account body mass index and health status, those who were less flexible had an almost 5% higher risk of death. The research is based on data from over 3,000 participants aged 46 to 65 who were given a flex index score based on their range of motion in 20 different movements. Mindful breathing could be key to reducing the intensity of pain in cancer patients. A new study published in the journal BMJ found 20 minutes of mindful breathing led to a significant reduction in pain intensity. While the study authors say further research is needed, the brief intervention could also alleviate anxiety among patients with cancer. And while more than half of Americans think artificial intelligence is in the doctor's office is a scary thought, most also see the value of AI in healthcare. A survey by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center found 3 in 4 believe AI can minimize human error. About 70% also think AI could be a useful tool to reduce wait times and are comfortable with AI taking notes during an appointment. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the campus of PSU plays host to a job fair for new and old students. And a bit of a chilly start, at least by August standards out there. Another below normal day ahead of us. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door. Plus, how a $100,000 grant will help the Peoria tribe provide meals to kids in need.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:29 on the dot. I'm Chris Warner. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Wednesday, August the 21st. We're almost done with this month, and it's been a pretty pleasant month overall, at least in terms of temperatures. We've had some hot spells, we've had some cool spells, and this last cool spell hasn't been too bad as Mother Nature's put us on an interesting roller coaster ride over the last couple of weeks, and that ride will continue as we head into next week as well. We'll talk about that in the full forecast a little later. First, take a look. Got a few clouds out there from our camera 7th and range line, but look at the coloring as the sun starts to rise up out there to the east. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking pretty good. There's a lot more than just 2 cars on the road now. Everybody getting their day started, heading to school, headed to work, headed to shop, or, just headed out for a drive. Sometimes it's not a bad idea. As we go through today, we're looking at mostly clear skies, if not just straight up clear skies for the majority of us. Some partly cloudy skies possible really along and west of the 75 corridor. And we'll still have that east breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Some occasional gusts upwards of about 15, maybe 20 still possible as well. 63 Joplin and Pittsburgh. So another cool start to the day for us. And that's how temperatures around the region are painted as well. Monette has taken the crown at the cool spot at 60. Otherwise, again, we're all low to mid 60s out there. Average low 69. None of us reached that mark. We all fell below that. Kids getting on the bus this morning about 64, partly cloudy, east breeze 5 to 10. And when that bus brings them back home this afternoon, we're looking at most of us with sunshine. That east breeze again still 5 to 10 and temperatures right around 85. Our highs today still a bit below normal. They're going to stay that way through tomorrow. We'll go up into the mid 80s today. Again, with the majority of us having plentiful sunshine. However, we start to warm up a bit tomorrow. Now we got more heat on the way heading into the weekend. We'll look at those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. In this morning's top stories, the Peoria tribe in Miami has received a grant of more than $100,000 to increase access to healthy foods for students in their early childhood program. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on how the grant helps.
This upgrade is really exciting because, of course, being a mom of a toddler, they are all about their snacks.
Christina Spriggs is a mom of one who looks forward to her child having more healthy food options at Woodland Academy because the grant money will allow for kitchen expansion and reconstruction.
I keep my daughter's diet as clean as I can, but with the options that we have here locally, it can be really hard to do that sometimes, especially certain times of the year, unless you grow it yourself at home and know what you're putting in it directly.
The grant will help the Early Childhood Center do just that. The new garden will allow them to grow organic food, and they'll be able to buy produce from local sources. The director of Early Childhood, Jolynn Kaiser, says this is beneficial for the health of the children.
Ongoing pesticides are not healthy for children. It's just really difficult to do with huge farms. And so by being able to buy from local farmers, we can avoid all of that and hopefully improve the health outcomes of the children that consume the food here.
Not only is the garden beneficial health-wise, but it will also be educational for the kids to learn about the process of gardening and disconnect from screens.
Watch the produce begin to form and grow and change color. If things like forgetting to water your garden bed, what happens whenever you don't water your plants? They die, but that's a learning opportunity for them as well.
Having the outdoor gardens that the children will be able to have a hand in cultivating their own food, I'm really excited about that. Kids need to be outside. My toddler definitely needs to be outside. She needs to run, put her feet in some dirt and grass.
Peoria Chief Craig Harper says he's proud of the Peoria tribe's commitment to meet the nutritional needs of the community. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Woodland Academy serves between 60 and 100 meals a day, and this grant will help with them achieving that goal. Pitt State hosted a community fair yesterday afternoon where local businesses and organizations got the opportunity to showcase their services and connect with college students. It gave them a chance to make and build some new relationships.
I am here looking for either like intern positions or like just a lot of social networking, and I'm here to make friends. I'm also here to meet a lot of people from Pittsburgh.
Students also had the chance to get free food and play games at the event. Organizations including local churches, Pizza Hut, military recruitment operations, and many more were all in attendance. PSU also held another fair yesterday for students and local businesses. The campus featured a part-time job fair. It was a way to bring together students with part-time employers on and off campus. This casual recruiting event was held inside the Crimson and Gold Ballroom in the Student Center. And the city of Joplin announces a new program for new homeowners. The Joplin Homeowner Rehabilitation Program 2, or JHRP 2, will act as part of the city's community revitalization efforts. The program offers qualifying homeowners up to $25,000 for critical home repairs, including roof and siding replacements, HVAC upgrades, and more. Find out more about available locations and to see if you qualify, you can over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Police Department yesterday introduced two new officers to its force, K-9 officers. K-9 Max is an 18-month-old German Shepherd. Officer Ron Donahue is his handler. K-9 Bolt is a 16-month-old Belgian Malinois. And this is Officer Adam Brannon's third K-9 over his Joplin police career. He stresses the importance of those dogs as they assist in patrolling.
We need these dogs on the streets in Joplin. They're used a lot for narcotic searches, tracking of persons, and all building searches for persons if, the call comes that way.
Captain Will Davis says with the addition of these two new dogs, the force is back to full K-9 staff. And that's a look at our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A federal judge struck down a proposed rule that would have banned non-compete agreements. And we've got a pretty decent day out there for us. We'll have another look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the campus of Missouri Southern ahead of Community Day. In Consumer Watch this morning, it's a topic that impacts every American voter. Get ready to hear a lot about grocery prices in the run-up to November elections. But what's the real deal with food prices and inflation? Karen Kafa reports.
Presidential candidates aiming for the kitchen table.
Grocery prices have skyrocketed.
I will take on the high costs that matter most to most Americans, like the cost of food.
An element of the economic debate that hits every voter. Last month, overall inflation slowed to its lowest level since March 2021. But when the rate of inflation decreases, prices are still rising, just at more normal rates. Grocery inflation peaked at a year-over-year increase of 13.5% in August 2022 and has steadily fallen. Last month's report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed overall grocery prices up 1.1% year-over-year. But Joseph Balagtas, professor of agricultural economics at Purdue University, says individual items will still see spikes based on supply, demand, and external factors. Like eggs, for example, up 19% over 1 year ago because of avian flu.
Egg producers, poultry producers have to destroy birds, flocks of birds that would otherwise lay eggs and produce chicken meat. And so we have a reduction in the supply of eggs. And higher egg prices.
And beef and pork prices, too, mostly due to summer demand. Grocery prices are up about 20% since the pandemic year in 2020, which means a $100 grocery cart now costs $120. One bright spot for consumers, wages are growing faster than food inflation. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kafa.
A federal judge in Texas has struck down a proposed Biden administration rule that would have banned so-called non-compete agreements for many workers. The Trump-appointed judge ruled that the Federal Trade Commission does not have the authority to enforce the rule, which would have taken effect in early September. According to the Biden administration, nearly 30 million American workers have signed agreements that prohibit them from moving to a rival company or starting their own competing business. BMW is recalling more than 720,000 vehicles because the electric water pump could short circuit and catch fire. There have been no reports of injury so far. The recall impacts certain models ranging from 2012 to 2018. Impacted owners will receive a notice in the mail to take their vehicles to a dealership for a free repair. More information on the recall can be found at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's website. And the iconic kids video game series from the late 90s and 2000s, Backyard Sports, is making a comeback. A trailer for the relaunched franchise dropped this week, 9 years after the last game was released. Here's a cautionary tale for new brides. Before you store your wedding dress, make sure it's actually yours. Wafa Izat talks to one woman who found out a dry cleaner gave her the wrong dress 25 years later.
I think after it kind of hit me, and we kind of joked about it, then the tears came.
It's a moment many brides cherish, the first time they see their wedding dress again after decades. But for Faith Nelson, this moment turned into a shocking surprise.
We just recently had our 25th anniversary, and so I thought maybe I should get my dress out and, try it on too. So when I went to open it up out of its vacuum seal, cardboard box, duct taped up, I opened the little window that you can view the dress, and I was shocked because it was not my dress.
Nelson was expecting to find the gown she chose for her big day in June 1999 in Fort Madison, Iowa. But instead, she found a dress she didn't recognize, one with a JCPenney tag and a size that didn't match her own.
Where I got my dress, purchased it, was at the Colony Shop in Fort Madison, Iowa. So she recommended taking it to, I think it was called Collins Quality Cleaners in Fort Madison, because that's where they box it all up for you.
Strangely enough, the box did contain her original veil, but the dress was entirely different.
Mine had cap sleeves, and this one had full sleeves.
Nelson says it's more than just a dress. It's a legacy that she hoped to pass down to her daughters.
It's not about the dress, it's about the marriage. But for me, the dress just means I have 2 girls. I would like to be able to pass it on to them in some manner, whether they actually wear the dress or piece it, for other things.
Many clothing experts recommend not storing a wedding dress in an airtight container. They also say you should open the box at least once a year. And that's it for Consumer Watch. We're going to take another quick look at the forecast. Starting to see a few clouds out there in Joplin from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. So now we're starting to go partly to mostly cloudy out there. And you can see those clouds continuing to sneak in from our camera at 7th and Rangeline as well. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. There's that little cloud shield that's formed, but there's some clearing that's taking place back to the west. So we could still see some partly, possibly mostly cloudy skies, mainly along and west of the 75 corridor today. The majority of us should see mostly clear, if not just straight clear skies as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours, with our temperatures once again below normal today. 63 Joplin and Pittsburgh, temperatures still below normal. Again, by August standards, a chilly start out there. 60, the cool spot in Monette. Everybody, though, low to mid 60s to start the day, all of us below average. Kids getting on the bus this morning, we are looking at those partly to possibly mostly cloudy skies. 64, east breeze around 5 to 10. East breeze continues, maybe some occasional gusts to 15 or 20. We'll be about 85, sunny skies when the bus brings everyone back home. Now, it's just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. You know that those are coming up right after the break. And we'll have another full look at your forecast as well. But first, there's something we need to stop and do, and that is see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Tony continues our team coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. He's talking with voters about their enthusiasm for the upcoming election. Plus, we'll discuss former President Obama's speech to the delegates. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're starting in Columbus with twins Laya and Kyra Layson celebrating birthday number 6. Says happy birthday from your church family. We have another set of twins, Maisie and Max Scott Adamson over in Parsons, celebrating birthday number 10. I almost said birthday number 20. Same thing though. Love coming from your great uncle and auntie. In Chetopa, Bud Rooney celebrating another year wiser with happy birthday wishes coming from your church family. And we've got Kim Mitchell in Riverton celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Kim. Heading back to Columbus, Marie Clark celebrating another year wiser. A very happy birthday to you, Marie. And our list continues with Dennis Helton celebrating number 80 up in Fort Scott. And Laura Stone celebrating a birthday today. It says, happy birthday, much love, enjoy your day. All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. We want every list to be fantastic, and there's a simple way you can help. All you have to do is send your birthdays to that email address. That's birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com. Make sure you include a photo because we love those. Include a message because we want to share something special with your loved ones for you. And meet the deadline on the bottom of your screen and include the date of your celebration as well, because as we've discussed, if you send it today and you don't tell us when it is, and we believe it must be for tomorrow. So if it's not for tomorrow and you send it today, just make sure you tell us when it's supposed to air. Super easy to do and a super great way to celebrate your loved ones as well. And a super great day to spend some time outside once again, especially this morning. You know, we've talked about taking the pets on early morning walks during the extreme heat. No extreme heat today, but still, this is a great morning for an early morning walk or jog. We've got some increasing clouds in Joplin right now. See those on the MoDOT camera, 20th and range lights. That's putting us mostly cloudy. And notice the lack of sunlight here from the KDOT camera on 69 at Kansas Crossing. Also some mostly cloudy skies, but those will continue to transition out of here and leaving the majority of any cloud cover along and west of 75. So Chanute, Parsons, Coffeyville, Fredonia, Yates Center. Now I know Parsons, you're a little further east of that, but still in this zone is where we're looking at the opportunity for those partly cloudy skies out there. The rest of us will be mostly clear to just plain clear across the area, and our highs today will once again be below normal, and they will remain below normal in terms of temperatures as we go into the overnight hours. As we go overnight, though, clouds will start to gradually increase a bit, and we've got a partly cloudy day in store for us on Thursday. Future tracks suggesting maybe a couple of stray showers. The chances really at this point is less than 10%, but a couple of stray showers possible Thursday morning, and then we'll spend the rest of the day partly cloudy, and we're going to start to be a little bit warmer. We'll still, for the most part, be below normal tomorrow. Some of us, though, may get close to 90, which is average, so you won't, be too hot, but it'll be a little warmer than what we've been used to. And that's ahead of Friday, though. That's where temperatures are really going to start to warm up. So we may start, again, a little below normal Friday morning, but it will not take long for temperatures to start to warm up as we get that strong southeasterly breeze out there. And that's going to put our temperatures into the low 90s. So some of us at or just slightly above average. Quick look outside. See, there's those clouds, but they are making for some nice coloring with the sunrise out there this morning. 63 in Joplin, east-southeast breeze at about 6 miles an hour. And temperatures this morning, average low 69. As we've mentioned, all of us below that. We've got low to mid 60s. Monette's still the cool spot at this point, sitting right at 60. So again, for August, it's a relatively chilly start to the day out there for us. So it's not bad, though. Great opportunity if you do those morning jogs. A great morning to do that as well. As we head through the rest of our morning, we are looking at sunny skies. Again, partly to mostly cloudy for some of us. The majority of us, though, will start to see those clouds dissipating through the morning, and we'll be into the upper 70s by 11 o'clock today, and our highs are going to head back into the mid 80s. So again, below normal, not by a lot, but still below average, with the majority of us, again, seeing sunny skies, maybe some partly cloudy skies a little further to the west. Overnight, again, the clouds, not the temperatures. The clouds will begin to increase a bit. We'll be mostly clear, though. Low 60s for our low 70s by 10. And then we'll go partly cloudy on our Thursday, upper 80s. There's those low 90s on Friday, sunny skies. Pop-up storm chances into the weekend, and temperatures now on the hot side above normal into the mid 90s. And with those pop-up storm chances comes the chance for some increased dew points and humidities. So we may have to keep an eye on those heat index values as they could be approaching 100 degrees. That is a check of your forecast, and we will be seeing you before too much longer on Fox 14, and that's at 7 a.m. when we switch over there. And we've got the story of a 12-year-old Texas boy that has his sights set on a world record, all while battling cancer. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Bass Pro announces more layoffs in their marine division, as well as manufacturing plants in Miami, Oklahoma, and Lebanon and Bolivar, Missouri. According to the company, the latter two plants in the Ozarks laid off 10% or about 100 workers. Bass Pro cited the, quote, current economic environment and slowing consumer demand as reasons for the layoffs. City of Goodman is now on its third police chief in the past year and a half. Samuel Townsend resigned from his position following a failed bid to become McDonald County Sheriff. City officials promoted Assistant Police Chief Michael Akins to the position of chief. The City of Joplin announces a new program for new homeowners. The Joplin Homeowner Rehabilitation Program 2 will act as part of the city's community revitalization efforts. program offers qualifying homeowners up to $25,000 for critical home repairs. To find out more about available locations and see if you qualify, you can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. And as you head out the door, it's a bit chilly this morning. Temperatures warming back up in the mid-80s, but still below normal. Majority of us, sunny skies out there, but a little further west could see some partly cloudy skies. Clear skies through the evening, low 70s by 10. Overnight lows into the low 60s with mostly clear skies. Clouds will be gradually increasing towards sunrise tomorrow. Go partly cloudy Thursday, a bit warmer, upper 80s. Warmer yet by Friday, low 90s out there. As we head into the weekend, we're looking at temperatures into the mid 90s and some pop-up storm chances. That means increased humidity levels as well. It could send our heat index values pushing close to 100. So if you have plans this weekend or for schools with outdoor activities or recess heading into next week, just something to keep an eye on with those heat index values. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making root beer chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Vladimir Dutierrez gets into the spy game with a behind-the-scenes look at a new James Bond exhibit. Plus, he talks with a former spy inside Bond's famous Aston Martin. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Greg Morse joins us in the studio to talk about the importance of keeping your data secure. Plus, Michelle Kuhn and Tina Sisk also join us in the studio to talk about Nacho Mama's Bingo. Some interesting topics coming up for you at 7. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and again today at noon.